Hi, this is Big Mama. I finished the Dear Julie Julie April Challenge and was able to go to the May VIP. And one of the things that Julie does for us when we go to the VIP is we get her new digital, and she asks us if we would be a part of her design team showing what we did with the digital. That's what this video is all about. She gives you free reign to do what you like with it. And so I made a little journal, but before I get into the journal, I'd like to show you some of the pages of the digital. And so you can see how beautiful they are. The name of this digital is called Roses and Perfume, and you're going to be able to get it at Dear Julie Julie's Etsy shop. And so you see these beautiful roses and the yellow butterfly. And so you see this in several of her kits, the yellow butterfly, but I love how she incorporates it in so many of the kits so that all the kits seem to be cohesive, to where if you've got one kit, you could buy this kit, and that makes all of your kits even bigger. So she also got a antique magazine given to her, and so she used this picture out of the magazine and had this antique old sheet of music that she made. And so she calls these pages a side by side, so that when you put it in a journal, you're able to just take and fold it right here. There's my doggy. You're able to fold it, and then you've got journaling pages. And there was the advertisement for the perfume, so that's why we got Roses and Perfume. And she has the tag pages, the tall tag, and you'll see where I use this in different ways in my journal. And so here's another one, and I love the fact she has these end page. It's a sunshine end page is what the digital is called. And so she used that background with this, which just totally changed the roses to where you could do a whole lot with honeybees and all kinds of things in with the roses also. And so I really love the fact that she's got that. And so if you had the other kit, those two would go together really well. And she has your music page here for you to use that just as a journaling card, and you can write then on this. And again, she does the format in different ways, so that if you want to print this one because you like these pictures and the other one you weren't wanting to use the other ones, it gives you several different options on what page you're going to print. And then we got that sweet couple again. And so I'm just going to start so that it doesn't take me an hour and 15 minutes to do this. You'll see she calls this the six-pack because you can take them folded up this way, and then this is right side up also. And so you can take and glue that, you can fold them and do several things with this that way. She did this one where it can be folded up this way or this way. I thought this was really interesting where it already had this little cutout, the thumb cutout on it, and I didn't use it because I'm planning on using it in the challenge journal that I'm getting ready to make, and so I wanted to use it in there. Guess I could have used it in both. My printer does work. Then we've got these little fussy cut. I did a lot of this in my journal. Tags. And I thought this was really neat to have that in there. And these are my favorite. I love this with the little scalloped edge on it, and this is great to just do for a journaling card. So there's those. And then this with the couple on it. I did not print out the whole kit, but there are several of the pages for you. These are the ones that I really think I'm going to end up using, and so those are the reason why I printed it. That is the reason, English, I'm working on it. So what I did is I took a narrow spine book that I had on my shelf, and on the outside of it, I painted over it with my gesso, the white gesso, and then went back after it dried and hit it with the sandpaper to give it that shabby look. I had this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and so I took 3 pieces of equal lengths and laid them on top of each other. Fussy cut. Irma, who is one of the ladies that comes to Julie's chat and is very active in a group, and I love to call her my friend. I hope she doesn't mind. But she had sent me a remnant of an old wedding dress, and I took the appliques off of it, and so you'll see on this one it's got the beading, but then on the back where I took a piece of the applique, I took all the beading off of it, because when you lay it down to write, you don't want it rolling all over, where you can see this totally different. And so I took the beads all off of the back here, and then when I glued this part of the digital to a piece of cereal box and put the gesso then around the edge and just tore it around the edge, really tattered look, and then put the appliques over the top. Well, I glued those on top of my ribbon that goes through, and then hit the ribbon with the heat gun to get it all crinkled up so that it has that really, really neat look. And then we can untie it. I do know how. And on the inside, the first thing I did was cover the inside with some material that I had gotten at Pearls Finds, is one of the groups that she sells online, and this was a sheet that she had, and so I got a piece of it, and I thought it went really good with the digital. And I had some of this beautiful paper that I put for the front and the back. So I've got the sheet here also. Put a piece of lace with the material on here for a pocket on the back and a pocket on the front, and then had this book label that I thought went really good with the colors. So that was my thinking. Then I went through this book, and each one of the signatures that was in the book, the signatures were sewn in. So I went through the center signature, and I took out, there were 6 folios, and a folio is where a sheet of paper is folded in half. That is a folio. And then when you have several of them, that's a signature. And so there were 6 of these, and so I pulled out 3, and then the next one I glued together to where those 2 are now glued over the top of where the thread is at, where it's sewn in to give it strength. And so I did that to leave in pages for me to use. So this was left in the original book. This was the original book. And what I did here, Tommy, Tomi, is one of the ladies that comes to Julie's and does the challenges. And Tommy, last month on her journal, had taken and put the ribbon across. And I thought, oh, that is so cool. I told her I was going to steal the idea. And so I love how if I wanted, I could put a few items in there and just tuck it in like that, or just leave it where it's woven and use that as a pocket then. But I like the way she had done it at the bottom to where things didn't fall through. But it was open to where you could see the whole digital picture. I had found this little quote, and the quote says, "I knew that you would find me in the end. Hello, here I am." And I thought, there they are. They're at the dance, and he's come up, and that's her sweetheart, Mercy. They is in love for sure. And so I took glossy accent and put over that so that it would look like you're looking through a window through the roses, and you can see out, well, not out, but in to where the dance is at, and the butterflies are on the flowers. And so I thought that was really pretty. And I may go ahead and put the tags back as I go. Oh, speaking of tag, this was one of the tags that was in there. And here I took the embossing powder. I remembered the name. Last video I did, I couldn't remember the word embossing powder, but this is Princess Gold, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. And so I just went around the edge with my glue stick and rubbed that on there, put the embossing powder on, and then hit it with the heat gun so that it would be irregular around the edge. And put my tattered piece of lace, and then took some of the music paper that is in the digital and put it on here. And then it says, the principal ingredient of life is love. And so there's them sweeties together. I was thinking, what would I do with a journal like this? And I think I would use it as a legacy journal to tell my babies about the love story of how Big Daddy and I got together, which was funny. And I won't tell that here. So washi tape here on the edge, because this page I had actually taken out. I had watercolored several of the pages that I had taken out of the book, and then this was where I had taken out of the spine. I had taken and cut the words off and left a little bit of the lip here to glue it down, and I covered up then where I glued it down with the washi, and took the digital and then added, remember that page I showed you where there were some fussy cut flowers? Well, I took then some fussy cut flowers and put it on top of the table where this basket was, and then took a hanky and made it like a table, and then added the butterfly, and this butterfly was in with the fussy cut page. And this is here to cover up a mistake that I had made, and thank goodness we have little things to cover our mistake. And then this is a little love letter that's inside here that you can open this up, and you've got something special inside. And so I took that in because, you know, you come in the door, you throw the mail on the table, so that's there. But when I did this page over here, and I glued this down on the corner, I glued this one in too far, and when I went in with my tool to open it up, I poked through, and I had a hole over on this side. Butterfly to the rescue. And I thought, well, that went okay, because as you can see, I've got a couple of little butterflies already on the table, so it ties in. But that was my mistake covering butterfly. And then this is a little folder that she had that she calls her daddy's bank envelope, and so this was one of the small ones. And so I just put one of the little circles here that I cut out, and I have a little tag there that folds up so that you have writing space. So I folded that up, and then inside here is also a piece of paper that you can write on. Let me get it out. Oh my goodness, I got fumbly fingers today. So it's just a little paper that you can write on for a little special note. And then I went around and just made it all pretty with some of the washi tape. So there you go with that one. I'll go back and fix this all up after I'm done. Now, I wanted to add more writing space. And remember, I took out all of the book page because I didn't want to have to sit there with tape and take words off all the pages. So what I did was I took my paper that I wanted, and I folded it and did a folio, and each page then I took with art glitter glue and glued in where I folded the page in half. I folded and glued them in So they are glued in between the pages that I had actually taken out. So there was a gap here, and now I added in 3 pages. So here's a grid page and a notebook page, and this notebook page was too short, so I added some music page and washi to embellish it. And then on this page, had some writing up here that I didn't think really worked with the theme of the journal, so I covered it up with a piece of Julie's paper. And then I also made this that is, oh, I always put something in the pockets, and I forgot I had this one, so I need to put something in there. I will. I'll leave that one out so I remember to. But I made a little pocket here on that, and then just did this ribbon up here at the top. If I put a eyelet in there and the ribbon sticking up, and then I put it into the top tuck there, it leaves that little bump, and so that's the reason why I did just put that tatting lace across the top of it so that it would go in smooth. All right, so leaving this out so that I remember that I need to put something in the pocket. And then here I went and put a colored paper in those holes. And then this page here, I have a pocket. And this envelope I got in the mail had this big, huge window. And I was telling Marianne in chat just today how I got this envelope, and I had to do something with it immediately. So I have a 1915 magazine, and so I started taking little things out of the magazine and covering up around the edge. And then I also, oh, that's the tab. That's the tab so that I can pull it out of the pocket. And then I made a tag to go in the pocket. And that, remember I showed you on the digital, this one here, that's what this is here, and then just inked around the edge. And on the front of it I went with glue stick again and the gold embossing ink around that, and did not put a hole in here because when you go and put it in this the envelope pocket, because it's not open at the top, it makes it hard to get it in and out. And so I decided, you know, the couples here, I put the couple on the miniature here, they're on the tag there. But then on the back, instead of just covering the envelope so that you would have that to read or write on, I took this music paper and just made it to where that folds to where you can open it up and write on it. It gives you a little bit more writing space. So there you go. You can write about that first date, how you met him, how your eyes locked across the room, and you knew that that was the one. That is how it happened with Big Daddy and I. But you got to admit, that man's got some blue eyes that just knock you down. Here she has she calls these the cat page because Cat is one of the ladies that comes to chat, and she really likes to have a page that you've got a writing spot, and so I have these throughout the book. And then this is where there was some writing on the page, and so I just take my tape and put it on the page and rub it down and pull the words off, so you've got a journaling spot there. And I put this ledger page here, and then on the other side, this digital here, I cut around the flowers and added the glossy accent, and while it's wet, I add in the glitter to give it that old feel that you see on those antique cards. But so this is the whole digital page, and then so I cut here so that you have a pocket, and then reinforced the back of it then with this ledger page. And this was she had a freebie and it was for macaroons, and so I printed that and tore it with I've got a tearing edge ruler that is a tattered edge, and so put the ribbon on there and got the recipe for your macaroons to make for your sweetie. That goes in that pocket. And this is again some of that paper that I had taken and watercolored on, and ledger paper, her side-by-side page, and so I've got it on this side. Okay, so here, I know that this music page wasn't Gershwin, but Gershwin, didn't that man write some wonderful music? And so I found him in a magazine, and so I turned him into a paper doll by putting him on some thick cardstock, cut him out, put him on here, and it talks about where he was at when the picture was taken, and added this as a top tuck pocket on here, and then just took some music paper here that, you know, as Gershwin, you gotta have music, even if it's not his song. I know he could have played it on the piano. And so I put that in there so you can have that to write on. And then this one is another one of those pages where this was the digital here, and I cut around the digital to make that tuck here. And when I did that, I went back and I have all of the art glitter glue on there with the glitter in it, and you can see that it is on the book page to give it some strength. And then this was another one of the tags on this piece of paper. You can see the tag, and reinforced it, put it on some of the grid paper for you to journal. Just tuck that in there. Some more journaling page. And then on this one, I took, now I have to see if I can find it, one of the, well, I guess you can see for yourself. It was a bigger one like this that I cut it in half and then did the fussy cut around the edge and put one on this page and one on this one. And then I have in my stationery some pink stationery, and so I did the envelope and stationery blank, not envelope and stationery blank, and then I had some antique black and white pictures that I added in here, and some more of the journaling page. Here is where I added some more, like I did in the front. I added some more pages and just glued them, folded them, and glued them into the seam here. And so there were some sheets here. This is from the book itself, where I'd taken it out and watercolored on it. And then I just left this where I'd use a journaling page. That's from a ledger. And then this is where you used to make copy when you're typing and use the carbon paper in between, and the word copy is on it. So I have a box of that so I put a piece in here. And then where this page comes up around, I just glued those down to make it a little tuck and put a tag in there with the perfume bottle on it. And we are now to the end where I have a couple of tags. This is just where we have the postcard that I put on a 3x5 index card. And this one, I just put it on the book page, and it's a thin one. I usually reinforce that with one more sheet, but I thought, well, I'm going to try to make one of those thin ones. I see people doing the thin. And so I just sewed around it and put the lace on it. And that, my dear friends, is my VIP journal that I made for dear Julie's design team. And I hope that you like her. And if you're interested in buying her, please say in the comment, hey, I'd really like that. I have a legacy story that I want to pass down to my sweethearts about how I met my man or woman. And or you might want to write Grandma and Grandpa's love story or many love stories in here so that those stories are passed on to the next generations. So thank you for listening. This is Big Mama, over and out. Bye.